You joined the army at 16. How did that all come about?
so I left school at fourth year, just before I went to fourth year, and I've got two of my best pals, Mick and Ali. They were like, oh, I'm going to go and do the army, we've got to get a bash, we've got to try it. I was like, nah, no for me. I was like, no chances. I'm not going to wait to get shouted at of people, because I lack discipline at back then. I didn't like being told what to do. I was like, no chance, that's not for me. They both joined. They go to a place in Glencoe to do your selection for the army, like your fitness test, your stuff like that. One of my pals, Ali, didn't get in, he had a heart condition. So my pal Mick, he was going down his cell, and he moved into Leeds and had a place called Harrogate for like a year for basic training, and we went down. Well, that's where he was getting sent. It was like, I remember it was like 3 days before Christmas. Please just go down that. He's like, I want to do it. Nah. And I was like, no chance. He's like, just sign up, see if you get accepted to that. I sign up, go down for the fitness test. I was like, if I don't do that, like, do well, I'm not going down. Obviously, me being fit, playing football, got into boxing, that smashed the fitness test out of the park. And next thing you know, like, I went down south in 2 months. I was like, man, I was like, no chance, man.
What was the reason joining the army? What was behind it all?
To be honest, I only done it because my pals done it. I think my group of pals were so close to me. Like, if somebody says jump off that bridge, you're jumping in after them. So yeah, I think main reason just because they two joined. But when I went down, I hated it as well. As soon as I went down through basic training, it was like a good laughing. Like, you're 16-year-old, you're running about Leeds and that, and trying to get into pubs and stuff like that. It was a good laugh, man, with like all your pals. But I hated it to start with. It was until I went into like actual finished basic training, went into like your actual unit you get deployed to. That's when I actually started to enjoy it, and I did like it. I think the only downfall was it played a massive part in my boxing, so I got held back a few years, I'd say.
Do you feel it's gave you that inner strength and courage you need in your life?
Oh, 100%. I think you grow up fast when you join the army. But then they're 16-year-old living your cell, you know what I mean? Like, there's a hurrah of 16-year-olds getting shouted at, getting told what to do. The training that it involves in that, because potentially you could have been got to war or this or that. So you grow up fast with you, and you have to grow up fast. You're flung in the deep end, you know what I mean? So I think that matured me, gave me a lot more confidence about myself, and it did build me into the person that I'm today, 100%.
It made you the man that you are today?
I would say
life lessons?
I would say so. A lot of life lessons for the army. So
what do you mean by that? Tell me some of the life lessons that you learned.
Life lessons, just one, how to look after yourself. When you're down there, you know how you have to do all your own washing, doing your own cooking. You have to do, you're away from your mum. I mean, don't get me wrong, to start with, me and my pal Mick were on the phone with my mum and his mum, like, how do you work a washing machine, and didn't know how to cook. I think the only thing we made for about a good year solid was tuna pasta, so it was, because that's the only thing we knew how to cook. It was horrible, but you learn all life skills like that, and then obviously got out to Iraq and Afghanistan. I think that matures you also a bit more, but it taught me a lot of life lessons.
How was your time in Afghanistan?
It was good. Like, so Afghanistan isn't as bad as obviously what it was back in like the Herrick Walls and stuff like that. Obviously you've still got that threat out there, and you've still got the dangers and everything else. But once you fly it, it's an eerie country. You know what I mean? It was another war zone, so it's an eerie place, and you're always on edge. You know what I mean? You're always, because you never know what can happen. You always need to stay ready. You know what I mean? Just in case something does happen.
What was your role there?
So as I joined the army, we were infantry frontline, so we were frontline soldiers. But out there, our role was guardian angel. So I think the engineers and stuff were teaching the Afghan army like our drills and like stuff like that, because obviously at that point, that's when the Taliban were planning on taking air. So we were teaching them all drills and stuff. So we were guardian angels. So we would stand in between lessons and that, in case someone would say pull out an AK or try to disturb something, so we can escalate it, get the higher ranks and that way into the armoured vehicles and get them out.
Did you have any confrontation with the Taliban or that when you were there?
No, not at all. Now and then you'd have like, the science not going on in case of like a bomb scare or stuff like that. Other than that, nah.
What have you learned from that whole experience in Afghanistan?
Grew me up. It taught me, I'd say, always be on edge, but always take things dead careful. Like, it's hard to explain. Just teaches you it's hard to.
Well, I'll put simple form. How important was that for you to go to Afghan at that stage in your life?
I think I don't know. I wouldn't say it was important to me to go. So I done Iraq first. I done Iraq just after my 18th birthday. I think that was the most scariest one, so it was, because just turning 18, got it there first time away, and the stories you hear of Iraq, like the movies and that you watching it and stuff. I think nothing can like, get you ready to go out there. So it kind of like mentally, nothing can prepare you, even though you do all this training and stuff like that. But deep down, nobody in their right minds mentally prepared to go out. So it's how you take it. But I think going out at 18, that grew me up big time. So when it came to Afghan, I was more than mentally prepared and more than ready with all drills and stuff like that. So I think going out there, I think this for the second time especially, I think it was easier than the first.
Has it made you a confident person?
I would say so. I think I'm no scared of like walking out to a ring now is nothing scary as getting off that plane when you're going out there. Pardon me. When you're going over there, but it's gave me that confidence that nothing scares me. So everybody's got like, scared of something, but took away that nerves and that I used to get for certain things, and I think it's hard to get me nervous or hard to get me actually scared. Or
how much have you implemented that kind of mental status and courage from Afghanistan into boxing?
I would say, so for instance, when I was younger, like going out doing a ring walk, I used to get really bad nerves. So I did like before a ring walk. I remember the British finals. My big brother had a wet towel in my head, and I was sitting on the edge of a chair. I shite myself, so I was petrified. And then, obviously now when it comes to ring walks, I buzz for it now. That's like, obviously, as I said earlier, that's your favourite part. My favourite part's the ring walk. Going out and just embracing it all, the crowd soaking it on. So I think it gave me that confidence and that courage to actually put it all behind me and actually go out and enjoy that moment.
How much has your life changed since you left the army?
Massively. So I think it took that toll for getting a big wage and stuff for the army, especially when I was 16-year-old, coming out. And obviously, I got out just before I had my pro debut. So my plan was obviously to get a job and then work around that. But I've been lucky enough with sponsors and stuff like that where I could go full time and chase that dream that I've actually wanted. So,
what was the main reason for leaving the army? Was it a case of you'd done your time, it was time to move on? Was that the case?
I would say so, because it came to the last 2 years, I'd say, before I went to Afghan. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. I was going through to Edinburgh each day, Monday to Friday. I was bored, I was fed up actually. I like changing my life, so I do. That's what I like about boxing. It gives me change. Every day is a different session, stuff like that. It feels as if we're just doing the same thing over and over. Falling out of love with the job. And then, obviously, once I was over in Afghan, I was looking back and I was seeing like boys I knew turning there, going professional, or doing this and doing that with boxing. It hit me hard. So it did. I think it was like 4 weeks before I flew home, 5 weeks before I flew home. And it just hit me hard, and I was like, I need to go pro. I was going to come back and have a few more amateur fights, but in my head, if I want to do something, if I've got something in my head, I'm doing it. And I just got in my head, look, I want to go pro. I got the ball moving so fast with it. And then that's all fell into place for me.